The federal government has ordered Chevron Nigeria Limited to resolve the disputes between the oil firm and communities within the company's Warri Exploration and Production area in Delta States over the composition and naming of the host communities trust fund. It also urged both parties in the dispute to maintain the peace pending the resolution of the matter, stressing that it was determined to ensure that the fate and proper thing was done immediately. The dispute between Chevron and the Ugbororo, Ugbegungun and Dembele communities in Warri South Local Government area of the state is over the naming of the host community trust fund established for the communities and the composition of its board of trustees. People from the three communities were reported to have staged a protest in the Escravos terminal area, accusing Chevron of going against the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. At a meeting with the feuding parties at the Abuja headquarters of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, its chief executive, Benga Komolafe, directed the oil firm to resolve the matter in 2 weeks, according to a statement issued by the agency on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the managing director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Dr. Sam Ogbuku, has informed the House of Representatives Committee on NDDC that the agency is owed over 2 trillion naira. He said the amount represents 15% of the allocation of the 9 states that make up the Niger Delta region since 2000, which has never been paid. Ogbuku noted that despite passing the budgets for 2021, 2022 and 2023, NDDC is yet to receive funds and therefore urged the lawmakers to help resolve the issues. Ogbuku said due to the huge debt being owed the agency, the NDDC is weighed down and its operations hampered. On his part, the chairman of NDDC board, Chiedu Ebi, assured the lawmakers that they would maintain good relationships with them and work together as a team towards positively changing narratives about the commission. In her remark, chairman of the committee, Ibori Suenu Iriateke, PDP Delta State, promised to look into the issues raised by the commission with a view to addressing them. And the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative and the Oil Producers Trade Section have met with oil firms and miners over how to enhance transparency and accountability in the nation's oil and gas and solid minerals sectors. Convened in Lagos by the OPTS, the forum, which was attended by the NEITI team and led by its Executive Secretary, Dr. Oji Ogbonnaya, had representatives from Owando PLC, Platform Petroleum, ND Western, and the National President of Miners Association of Nigeria, Dele Ayonleke, amongst others. Speaking at the event, Ogbonnaya explained that the NEITI Companies Forum was a veritable platform through which the agency helps the country and the operating companies comply with the Global Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. He stressed that participation at the highest level of NEITI process was compulsory, assuring that NEITI would work with OPTS to deepen and strengthen the companies forum, which he said witnessed a drawback due to the COVID-19 pandemic. He explained that the forum was put together to create opportunity for companies to scrutinize the work of NEITI, ask questions where necessary, and seek clarifications without having to write letters, and understand their jobs as members of the forum. Earlier in his opening remarks, the Executive Director of OPTS, Gweke Ajaifia, has said NEITI was important to every stakeholder in Nigeria, owing to the data and information it releases, which helps Nigerians to understand what happens with the nation's extractive resources. And as the world further moves away from fossil fuel and petrol, Nigerians have been advised to move towards agriculture and agribusiness. This charge was given by the chairman and CEO of Pali Agro Group, Collins Onyegu. while taking some of the company's financial partners on tour of the barley farms at Ogun and Oyo states. iBrandTV's Uchechukwu Onodu was there and now reports.
Food insecurity is currently one of the major challenges facing Nigeria as a country. Studies have shown that agribusiness has been greatly overlooked in Nigeria, especially among the youth who forms a greater percentage of the teeming population, mostly due to a lack of access to proper funding and a friendly business environment. Commenting on these issues, the chairman and CEO, Pali Agro Group, Collins Onyago, said he is open and willing to mentor and guide young interested Nigerians on how to access funding and succeed in the agri space.
We are feeding the nation. We are working towards getting food security and food availability and sustainability, not affordability. We are not working towards being affordable. We're working towards availability.
I see.
Yes. I'm trying to make sure that Nigerians are able to eat. You should be expecting us to perfect whatever we have started, and at the same time, on a serious note, there is a food emergency in Nigeria, and if Ukraine of about 44 million people is feeding 30% of the world, so Nigeria with this vast land should be able to feed itself. So my drive and my ambition is to feed Nigeria.
While speaking on his drive and aim for establishing such huge investment, Onyago said he is passionate about food security, food availability, and food affordability.
We are working towards getting food security and food availability and sustainability, not affordability. We are not working towards being affordable. We're working towards availability.
I see.
Yes. I'm trying to make sure that Nigerians are able to eat. You should be expecting us to perfect whatever we have started, and at the same time, on a serious note, there is a food emergency in Nigeria, and if Ukraine of about 44 million people is feeding 30% of the world, so Nigeria with this vast land should be able to feed itself. So my drive and my ambition is to feed Nigeria.
Pali farms sit on a vast land space of over 5,000 hectares of land, with 800 hectares cultivated and 530 hectares planted. Uchechukwu Onodu for iBrandTV.
Production of natural gas fell last year despite a 250 billion naira intervention fund provided to 15 companies, according to an industry report from the Energy Institute in partnership with KPMG. Nigeria's natural gas production dropped by 4 billion cubic feet meters between 2021 and 2022. The country's gas production recorded at 39 billion cubic feet meters as of 2012 was on a steady growth and had grown to 49 billion cubic feet meters as of 2020. Suddenly crashed 45 billion cubic meters in 2021 and then 40 billion cubic meters last year. According to the report, the development happened despite a 250 billion naira intervention fund by federal government through the Central Bank of Nigeria, out of which 130 billion naira was doled out to 15 companies for the construction of compressed natural gas conversion centers. It said the NGEP was introduced by the federal government to make the CNG the fuel of choice for transportation and liquefied petroleum gas the fuel of choice for domestic cooking, captive power, and small industrial complexes. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, and the United States Assistant Secretary for Energy and Natural Resources, Geoffrey Piat, have agreed to set up a team of officials from both countries to explore financing for credit to mining firms and infrastructures. On the sidelines of the Mines and Money Conference held in London, Piat said his visit to Alake followed an earlier meeting with President Bola Tinubu, who sought the support of the U.S. for the country's economic revival. He said the U.S. would like to be Nigeria's partner of choice in developing the solid mineral sector and was interested in the reforms announced by the minister during the conference. Noting that the U.S. has various institutions and laws which encourage direct foreign investment, Piat said he would notify the agencies to collaborate with their Nigerian counterparts to work out the framework. Responding, Alake said the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development had launched a 7-point agenda as its roadmap to reposition the sector. Also speaking at the meeting, the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Solid Minerals Fund, Fatima Shinkafi, commended the U.S. for investment in mining infrastructure in Central Africa, urging a similar partnership with the fund.